I am live. Hello, everyone. Good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. This is, well, world, I guess it could be any time right now. It is 9 o'clock here in Vancouver Pacific time. And I welcome you to this live stream. Hello, thank you so much for being here. My name is Krisha Young, and I am a mind unfucker and worthiness coach, and I am here to help you have better relationships. I'm very passionate about communication and connection and intimacy. I love teaching my clients how to reconnect with their partners if they're in a roommate marriage, or helping them make the decision to leave if that's what's best for them. I also love working with my single ladies and helping them truly identify from a place of absolute truth what it is that they want in a relationship, and the areas of growth for them in order to be able to attract a really great partner into their lives. So I'm super passionate about this work, and I love doing the deep work with women, which is releasing the patterns that we have around betraying ourselves, right? And so the pain that we can feel sometimes when we are out of integrity or whatnot is because we're betraying ourselves. We're saying we want something, but we're acting in a different kind of way, right? Like there's that dissonance that happens with us when we're in a pattern. And I love that part of my work because I get to help women really see and understand why they do what they do so that they can stop it. And as soon as you see it, it's like instantaneous. It's the patterns gone in that particular area. And there's such a massive, beautiful level of freedom on the other side of that, and peace and calm. So I love that part of my work. And it's such a pleasure and an honor that I get to do this every day. And this venue here is an opportunity for me to speak with you, my wider community, and talk to you about the kinds of things that, we can start to do as women in order to own our own selves, right? To be empowered, self-empowered. There's a lot of talk about self-empowerment out there for women, but I think we can do better. We can have more sovereignty. We can have more self-empowerment across the board, whether it's in our relationships or whether it's in our businesses or whether it is out at a restaurant, which is what today we're going to talk about. Again, I am Krisha Young. If you are on here live, hashtag live. If you're on the replay, hashtag replay. And comments, questions, all of it. I love it. I love interacting with you guys. Let me know that you're here, and we will get started. Okay, so what does deboning a fish have to do with asking for what you want? Like crazy, weird, right? So here's the thing. I really enjoy going out to restaurants. It's one of my favorite things to do. I think it comes from when I was a kid. When my parents split up, the custody arrangement that they had, one of it was that every Tuesday, my dad would take my sister and I out for dinner, and I just loved it. I mean, I was like Aphrodite as an 8-year-old, like just sitting there like, yes, please serve me grapes. I just loved it so much. I loved being served. I loved the clinking of, cutlery and glasses, and food being cooked for me and then food being taken away, and I didn't have to wash dishes. I always have to wash dishes at home, and I really love it so much. It's literally one of my favorite things. So I dine out quite a bit. And the other night I was out for dinner, and I go out by myself a lot because I'm single right now, but I do have a lot of girlfriends, a lot of friends that I'll go out with, but I have no hesitation going out on my own. Empowerment tip number 1, right? If you're not already doing stuff by yourself because you feel weird or embarrassed, or people are looking at you or whatever, I can't tell you how many times I've overheard people at next table have conversations with their person and say, I could never sit at a table by myself. And I'm like, why not? I'm like, come, just do it. It's the most amazing thing. So if there's anywhere in your life that you are not doing things by yourself, I encourage you to go and try it, man. Like, it's very empowering. And yeah, you got to sit through the shouty voices inside that are saying, they still come up for me. Oh, you're such a loser. Look at you sitting by yourself. Like, it still comes up for me. And I'm like, what? No, I'm not. You're the loser for saying that. So I really encourage you to, if you haven't already or don't, or feel weird about it or whatever, just push past that and, or sit with it actually and enjoy yourself. So I'm out for dinner and I'm sitting at this restaurant here in Vancouver at the waterfront. And, I sit at the bar usually when I'm alone, or even when I'm with people, because the bar is the most funnest place, and like the bar of the restaurant, not a bar. And hi, live, hey. Oh, I don't have my phone in front of me. I was gonna go on the Facebook from here. Okay, so anyway, I'm sitting at the restaurant and at the bar, and I say to always to the whoever's serving me, I'm always asking them, what do they think? What do they recommend? What is the most popular dish in the restaurant? What is and what's a really good wine to go with that? I'm always asking them. And I do that for two reasons. One, because I like kind of testing people and seeing where they are in terms of their own ability to speak truth. Because that's what I'm here for. Like, that's what my wider purpose is here, is to get people to speak their truth and to be in their truth, right? That's my spiritual path here. So there's that, and I play with that, like when I go out in public. And two, I want to know, like, I want to know what is the specialty, and if it resonates with me, if I feel like, oh yeah, that sounds delicious, I will order it. So I asked this bartender for some help. Okay, here we go. Here's my thing. All right, cool. So I asked this bartender for some help, and he was super hesitant. He was like, and I was getting frustrated with him because I'm like, dude, just tell me what you think. Okay, so there's that right there. Tell me what you think. If somebody is asking for your opinion, they want your real opinion, right? And that's something that we often hesitate on because we're afraid of whatever the backlash is going to be if we speak our truth, if we give our true opinion, right? And, I mean, there's so much pressure that can come from lots of places, right? He has a boss and colleagues and stuff like that. And if he says something and then it gets back to the boss, like, oh, this bartender said this thing, I get it. But he was so hesitant in his delivery. And I actually said to him, I'm like, dude, I want to know the truth. I was like, I really want to know what you think. Like, tell me the truth. Like, I was asking him about the duck, and he was like kind of skirting around like that he didn't like it. And so I said it for him. I'm like, so you wouldn't recommend it then, right? And he's like, I'm like, oh my God, just say no. So anyway, I finally land on a glass of wine and a dish, and I ordered the fish, and it was so funny because I got a nice bold glass of red, and then I ordered fish, and the two kind of aren't supposed to go together, but who cares? I don't. So I just sat there and anyway was waiting. And then my fish comes, and I didn't know this, but it was a whole fish with the head on it, the skin, the tail. And that, like, as much as I'm a foodie, I'm also like, no thanks. I don't want to see the fish eye and the fish head. So I didn't know that was how it was going to come. And, that's fine. And so when the waiter came over and brought it over, the server came over and brought it, I was like, ooh. And I looked at him and I said, do you mind like deboning and deheading this for me? And he was like, yeah, no. Well, he didn't say anything. He just put the fish down. And then he walked away, and I was like, oh, like, okay. And then he came back like 2 seconds later with a spoon and a fork and a side plate and all that kind of stuff. And he starts doing it, and he's doing it. And I'm watching him, and I'm like, have you done this before? And he goes, oh, maybe. He was from Paris, or from south of France, not Paris. He was from the south of France. And he's like, yeah, maybe. Like, I love deboning the fish. And he was so happy and passionate in deboning that fish. And I was watching this man do this for me, but for himself, right? And he did the whole thing so professionally and so beautifully. He was like just doing all these things with it. And I'm watching that going, fuck, I would have messed that up so badly. It would have been like, ew, there would have been eyeballs and tails and everything. It would have been just gross if I had done that, right? And so I'm watching him do all of this, and I'm talking to him and I'm asking him questions. I'm like, so where did you learn how to do this? And he goes, I did the deboning for years. He was like, you know, this executive chef in a restaurant in Paris, and he deboned like hundreds, if not thousands of fish, and he loved it. And then I looked up and I'm seeing all the other wait staff kind of standing around watching him. They were watching a master debone a fish. And I'm like, wow, this is really cool. And then I thought to myself, how many people would not ask for that? Women especially. How many of you would not have asked for that, right? How many of you would have had that fish in front of you and been like, horrified, right? Maybe, right? Or maybe you would have expected it, but then you wouldn't be horrified. But let's say you were horrified and you were like, fuck, and eaten around it, suffered in silence, opened it up. Even when he opened up that fish, it wasn't fully cooked. So he even had to take it back and cook it a little bit more for me. So if I hadn't said anything, I would have had a raw fish there too, right? And yeah, so how many of you, just think about this for a minute and think about where this shows up for you in your wider, broader life, where something is uncomfortable for you, something is not right for you, something is a no for you, and it's something small, it doesn't matter, it's insignificant, you could live with it, live without it, or whatever, but something is a no for you and you don't say anything. Why not? Why are you not saying anything? Is it because you don't want to inconvenience the other person? You are afraid maybe he's going to take that fish back and spit in your food. You don't want to seem high maintenance. You don't want to seem like a diva. You don't want to seem like or feel like. All of that is not empowering, woman. It is not. All of that is people pleasing and stuffing your needs down, right? And you're not getting what you want. And then so you're sitting there now with a fish in front of you with its head and its tail on, and you're like, ew. And you're no longer enjoying your food. Instead, you're suffering in silence. And this is what women have been conditioned to do for centuries. This is not healthy for us, ladies. It's not healthy. What happens is when we stuff those little things down inside of us, right? They don't go anywhere. They stay in our body. We swallow it down, right? And it gets caught inside of our body. And then it comes out in other ways, right? So that little incident with the fish at the restaurant not speaking what you want and blah, 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 will come out at some point somewhere else with your kids, with your spouse, with a friend, with some stranger on the street. It has to come out, right? And so what all of this is energetic exchange, right? And so we're having an energetic exchange when we're receiving something and it's not how we want it, it's not whatever. And when we don't speak, and there's a way to speak with grace, and it takes time to learn how to do this if you're not used to it, right? At first, it was very clunky when I was first starting to practice this. I wasn't always like this. I would have taken that fish and I would have swallowed that and I would have just sat with it and I would have been grossed out. I wouldn't have enjoyed it. And that would have been it. And then I would have held all of that inside, swallowed it. That's what we do as women. We swallow. And then it lands, and it lands on our heart, and it lands in our solar plexus, and then it goes down our chakras, and then it lands in our root chakra, and then we feel unstable, and then we feel angry or sad. And then we get blocked in our throat chakra because we didn't say, because we're now blocked down here, right? So things can't come out. We can't get what we need because we're constantly stuffing down what we feel, what we want to say, what we need, right? So it's a wider, bigger issue that we're facing here. And yes, deboning a fish, it's a fun little story, but there's so much in that micro universe right there for you to take away here as a lens to look at where in your life are you not asking for your frickin' fish to be deboned? What is your version of deboning a fish? Where are you asking for your fish to be deboned, and where are you not? Maybe it's in the bedroom. You know, a lot of women struggle asking for what we want in the bedroom because we're not taught how to do this stuff. Okay, ladies, we're just not, you know, and there's a lot more information about it out there now, especially on Instagram. There's certain accounts that I follow, and they're good at helping us express ourselves and speak to it. But that, you know, that in itself has a lot of layers to it of healing if you have trauma around that, right? But asking for what you want, I don't want you to touch me that way. I like being touched this way. That can be terrifying for a woman to express that to a partner, right? But again, think about it. You're not doing that. It's where's it getting stored? In your body, right? It's getting stored in your body. And what happens is you shut down and then you don't want to be touched at all, right? You don't want to be touched at all. So that is not how we're meant to live. We are meant to live free and open, right? Because that is when our heart can get expressed in this world. And that is the power of a woman. We have the ability to be able to heal as women. And the only way that we can do that is when our hearts are open and we're not carrying around all this undeboned fish inside of us, right? So I want you to look around your life and ask yourself, where are you not asking for your needs to be met? It can be anywhere, right? Where are you feeling bitterness and resentment? Where are you feeling that person should know how you feel? That person should know that you need this thing. Where does that show up? Where are you not giving yourself what you know you need? This shows up a lot, right? Like, I'm pretty sure like most of you should be nodding your head right now, because like it's everywhere. And every one of my clients comes in and this is what we're experiencing. They're not saying yes to themselves in a lot of ways. And these are professional, intelligent, like conscious, with it, loving, amazing women who've done well for themselves in this lifetime, still are holding back their needs and their desires, right? So this is a wide-ranging spectrum of issues here. So take a look at it. Just even if you've done a ton of work on yourself and you think you know this, think again. Really look. Where are you holding back on your needs? Are you betraying yourself in ways, let's just say, for example, you're not eating healthy, you're not moving your body, you're not dating for other reasons than you really genuinely just don't want to? Like, are you holding love away from yourself? Have you just been hurt so many times? And have you lost hope? Is that why you're not dating? Or are you not dating because you genuinely just don't want to? You know, like, where are you? Where's your truth? Are you like ecstatically happy with your partner? Can you not wait to see them every day? Or do you dread? Do you want to like strangle them? Do you not want anything to do with them? Right? Are you in a roommate relationship? Are you in a roommate marriage? You're not giving yourself what you need, if that's the case. Yourself, right? And there's way more wider issues in that as well, which, you know, like that's what we work with in Feminine Rising and my 8-week group program that I have been chatting to you guys about, which helps you through these things wherever you're feeling stuck, not just asking for what you want, but the patterns of self-betrayal, right? The stuff, the blind spot stuff in the subconscious mind, that is what we work on, and developing new thought patterns, new ways of thinking for yourself, and which results in a new way of acting, a new way of being in your life, which then gets you to the point where you're literally sitting there at a restaurant and you're able to go, oh, no, would you mind please deboning my fish for me and taking the head off? Okay, so let me finish the story. So that's how I asked. And of course, madame, right? He didn't say that at first, but that was what he did. Of course, whatever you need. Just a little reminder here, ladies, men love to provide. And when healthy men love to provide, but they need to know what we want. So we have to be very clear in our ask. We've got to do our part. We want our men to step up. We have to do our part. We can't just expect them to be these supermen and not do our own part, right? So our part is being clear in what our ask is. No, and helping them understand. I need something from you right now, or I don't need something from you right now. I just need to express, right? That's part of our job, is to show up in that, not to assume that they're going to know, right? So this man wanted to provide for me because that's his natural thing. And as a woman, our natural thing is to receive. It's to receive. Thank you. Just channel and feel into Aphrodite energy, okay? So Venus, Aphrodite, right? I channel a lot of Aphrodite energy. And what that looks like is, the visual of being in the clamshell and just being served and that, going through life, having that as a heart-centered expectation. So not an entitled brat, diva, drop everything and what you see, spoiled rich women and movies and stuff like that. It's not that at all. It's not that at all. It is grace. It's graciousness. It's thank you. Yes, please. I would love for you to do that for me, because it would make my enjoyment of having this fish just out of this world. And that pleasure that we have as women, men love. Healthy men love it. They love it. They love to make us happy. They want to make us happy. They want to know what makes us happy. So that's the macro in the micro, right? So now, hey Susan, hey, yay, I'm glad you're live. So anyway, he does his thing. So telling the story, getting back into the story. So you can imagine I'm sitting at the bar, comes over, starts deboning my fish, notices that it's not cooked enough, goes, takes it back, comes back, and he's telling me all about it. And we're talking, and he's telling me, how I'm watching him debone this whole thing. And he's like, do you want this? Do you want that? Before he takes the fish away, he gives me the cheeks, and he's on a little plate, and he's like, here's the little cheeks as a little amuse-bouche to get you going. And I'm like, of course you just did that. Thank you. And then everybody's standing around watching this master at work. Everybody got something from that. Do you understand? Everybody got something from me asking for what I wanted. It is not selfish. It would have been so selfish for me to sit there and have something in front of me that I didn't want, and suffer in silence and try to negotiate my way around it, destroy the fish, which would have been an insult to the chef. And I would have taken away that man's opportunity to be able to do something that he loved. He loved that. I gave that man an opportunity to do something that he loved. And it would have taken away the opportunity for all the other staff to watch a master at work. They also were interested in that. You don't work in a restaurant unless you actually love being around food and love serving, certain restaurants, right? I gave them a gift and they gave me a gift. That is what I'm trying to get across here in all of my videos, ladies. This is what empowerment is for us. It's a gift. It's a gift. We're giving it and we're receiving it, okay? So don't minimize this. Let it hit your stuff. Let it hit up inside of you and make you feel so fucking uncomfortable that you have to do something about it. And I hope that that something is join feminine rising, because I'll tell you what, you come through that program and guaranteed you will not have this issue anymore. And we do it with grace and beauty, right? So I'm going to finish the story. He serves me the fish. And remember that bartender that I told you about, the one who was hesitant, who wouldn't speak his truth, who was like trepidatious and like I could never date a man like that, right? Because I would crush him at every turn with my desire for him to be in his truth, you know? I'd be like, excuse me. So he says, and this is a true indication of a man who is intimidated. Okay, so not all men are intimidated by powerful women. That is a fallacy. But there are men who are intimidated by their power. It's not your power that they're afraid of, ladies. It's their power, right? And those are the individuals that we get to be a living demonstration to of what true inner sovereign power is. It's not ego power. That's part of the issue too, just as a little aside for men, is in this patriarchy, they have been taught that power is control. I mean, we're seeing it being played out in the world right now, are we not? It is power and it's control from ego, from the need to be right, not from heart, right? And so when a man is not in, or a woman, anybody, is not in their full sovereign heart power because they're blocking all of this shit, it's going to come out. It's either going to come out in a passive aggressive, like jab, or it's going to come out in anger, or it's going to come out. It comes out just like what I was saying at the beginning. If we stuff our needs and desires down, it's going to come out. It has to. The energy has to come out. We can't live with it so much in our body. And this is why when we do energy work, we're so exhausted afterwards, because we've now had that stuff released and we need to drink a lot of water and we need to like do stuff in order to heal and regenerate our bodies, right? If we're doing this work every day and we're releasing this energy all the time in the moment, nothing gets pent up. So this bartender, already I know that he has an issue himself with his own power, right? I sniffed it out already. And so the waiter who deboned my fish brings the fish, puts it in front of me, and I hear the bartender say, "Here comes the airplane." And I'm like, what did you just say? I was like, wow, not a child. And it was quite offensive. I didn't say anything because I don't need to. That was a demonstration of that man's lack of power within himself, projecting on me that I needed to have somebody do that for me because I'm a child. That was his mindset around it. Here comes the airplane? What? I was like, okay. I was just about to say I couldn't believe he said that, but of course I can believe he said that, because already this man had shown me that he was weak within himself, right? And so of course he saw me as weak. He saw me as a child rather than a sovereign woman asking for what it was that I wanted, giving everybody that gift and myself, not wanting to destroy the fish because I have no freaking clue how to debone a fish. No idea, right? All of that intricate stuff played out. And this all happened in what, like 5 minutes, right? When you, like, I am just a sheer observer of humanity. It's all I do is watch people. You know, it's how I know so much, because I'm always watching people. And I bring that to my clients and I bring that to you to say, hey, there's another way for us to be and think and feel and act and like role in this world. And that's the wisdom that I try to impart with you. And sometimes it's a curse because I see everything, but it mostly is a blessing. And that was a blessing for me to see all of that and see it all played out. And I've had this happen, before. Actually, it was another super short story, but on the same vein. My girlfriend and I, we were out for dinner, and I got to the table first. And this is when I first got to Vancouver, so it was still cool. It was the end of April. And so we were outside. There was no indoor dining at the time. So we were outside at a patio, and it was cold. And there was a heat lamp like just over there, and there was nobody sat there. And so I asked the waiter, I said, do you think that you could bring that heat lamp over a little closer? It's quite cold here. And he's like, absolutely. Again, falling over me. Okay. Then there were 4 men all of a sudden bringing this heat lamp over. Like they were all falling over each other and all I did was ask for the heat lamp. Like it's beautiful. This happens, ladies, all the time. And anyway, my friend comes and she's like, oh, thank God it's cold. I'm like, I know, don't worry, I got you, girl. And these guys were fumbling over each other. And then the one of the waiters, I wrote this on Facebook at the time when it happened. He made some snide comment about it, I'll have to look it up and see, because I can't remember now, it was a long time ago, about it. And I was like, what? Why would you make a snide comment about these beautiful, gorgeous men who wanted to make sure that my friend and I were comfortable and warm? Like, why would you insult that? Why would you say that? And it's like, oh, because he's uncomfortable with that. And then I thought, geez, I feel sorry for whoever's with that man, because and I'll tell you, I have had partners in the past who have called me insatiable, who have called me names, because I have expressed my desires and expressed my needs. And you know what, ladies? I don't tolerate that anymore. Not at all. Nowhere. No. You can ask for what you want. And if you're not, that's on you. That's not on me, man. And then the rest of that night, we were just given like free stuff all over the place. Like, like free drinks, and like we wanted dessert and they didn't have the right dessert on the menu. And so I was like, hey, you don't think that you'd be able to make this dessert in this way for me, would you? And they're like, let me see what we can do. And they went away and they came back and they made it for us. You just don't know. You got to just ask. You just don't know. You got to just ask, just ask for what it is that you want. So, I would love to hear from you guys about, what I said here today, where you struggle with asking for what you want, what comes up for you, where does it hit you inside your body? Where, like, do you feel it in your solar plexus area? Do you feel it in your stomach? Like, do you feel anxious when you're about to ask for something that you want? Do you need help in terms of how, like, what to say? Do you not even know what it is that you want? A lot of women, don't even know what they want, like they've been suppressing it for so long, that the deep wants, like, what is it that you want? Like, what are your secret thoughts? What are the things that you really, truly want that you think that you can't have or you shouldn't have, right? That's the work that I do with women, is helping make that a reality for you. And so I would love to invite you into more, to learn more about Feminine Rising and how that program can really help you step through all of this and way more. So if you are interested in how I can help you, I would love for you to send me a DM, there's a message, and we will get on a call and have a conversation about this program and how I can help you, whether it's the right thing, budget, all that kind of stuff. And we will go from there. Thank you so much, ladies. I appreciate, and any gents that might be watching, I know I've got some dudes in this group as well, who are lovely. Thank you all so much for being here, for participating, for watching, all the rest of it. And I'm going to keep this one short today. I will see you next week on Worthiness Wednesday. Again, I'm Krisha Young, and I am here to help you have better relationships, juicy, happy, healthy woman, happy, sexy love for yourself, for the planet at large, And, you know, the work, I'm going to leave with this last thought. The work that we do on ourselves here in a privileged place, from a privileged place, we are privileged, is going to help women in unprivileged areas, okay? We are all connected energetically, spiritually. We're all one big entity. And when we do our work here, we have the privilege in the first world to be able to do this kind of work, right? And when we can do this work on ourselves here, we're energetically giving the power to the women, let's say, in Afghanistan right now, who cannot, okay? There's lots of places in the world where women are not able to express themselves, period. So we need to do this for them and for ourselves. That's the collective why, right? That's the bigger picture why, right? If you believe in that stuff, which I strongly do. And it's also generational for our children, our nieces, our nephews, all of that kind of stuff, right? And it's lineage back. It cleans back as well. So it is our responsibility, actually, in order to be able to speak our truth, and whether that's deboning a fish or whatever it is. So I encourage you to take this away and actually start practicing it, and let me know where you get stuck. Thanks, Susan. You can't get what you want if you don't ask, and they don't know if you don't tell them. Exactly. Exactly. And yeah, so you got to know what it is that you want. You need to know how to unblock yourself so that you can speak it out of your throat, like speak it, and you know, and work on all of the stuff that comes up for you as to why you're not asking for what you want, and learn how to do it with grace and ease and joy and a smile, and have people like fawn all over you, like fall all over you to just serve you, you know, and it's reciprocal. You got to do that too, of course, but I know that there's no problem with that because women have no issues in giving. We give. That's the problem. We give and 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 we give, and we're depleted and angry at the end of the day, and we're like, ah! No. We need to receive too in that, right? And then it's balanced, and then we feel nice and balanced, and we feel really good. Right? When we are balanced in that giving and receiving, in the yin and yang, right? It is a martyrdom to give and give and give and give and give and not receive. And I am here to put a stop to that BS and really help us be self-empowered, sovereign, and knowing who we are, knowing what it is that we want, going out and getting it from a place of alignment, right? One last thing that I'll share, because I see that there's a couple people who've joined. Hi, before I sign off officially, is, you know, we have this, we in order for us to really be able to ask for what it is that we need, we have to be in our very aligned, centered truth about it. And what we have is a tendency to look at like what we think we should have, right? And this is especially true for Gen X women, all right? I'm a Gen X woman, but I think like a millennial. And I work with Gen X women and millennial women pretty much exclusively. And Gen X women think that they can have it all, but they got it twisted in thinking that we needed to be and do it all, right? And that's not the case. And millennial women know that they can have it all. They know that they can go out there and create whatever it is that they want. Like it's like a lot of the boomers think that millennials are entitled. They're not. I mean, there might be some, but they get it. They get it. They get that they can create this. The issue that both generations have is around worthiness and is around speaking it out in a society that represses that and isn't very welcoming to this, and doing it from a place of pure alignment within your heart, not what everybody else thinks you should do. right? So the belief that you can is there on both sides, but then we get it twisted when it comes to actually going out and doing it, because of, you know, societal pressures and mindset and belief systems and all of that kind of stuff. So these are the kinds of things that I help you break through at a personal level for you in Feminine Rising and in my one-on-one coaching packages as well. You know, because we're not here to play small. We are not here for that. We are here to do big things on this earth in terms of whatever our soul's purpose is, right? And that doesn't have to mean that we're Oprah. It just means that we're in alignment and we're in our truth and we're expressing our purpose everywhere we go. Every one of us has a purpose. And if you're seeking yours and you're not sure what yours is, I can guarantee you I will find it for you. I will help you find it for you. And it's not what you think it is, but when you find it, you'll be like, oh, I get it now. And then when you're in that space, that's when life really gets super juicy and, you know, like it just is. It's wonderful and delicious once you are finally fully locked into your purpose, and you're open to receive all of the juiciness that the world has for you. So that's my mission. That's what I'm here to do. That's my purpose on this planet, is to help you be in your truth about what it is that you want and who you are. So I encourage you to reach out to me and talk to me about working with me if this is something that you actually truly want for yourself. So check in and ask. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Thanks for being on here live. And I will see you. Thank you so much, everybody. Thanks for being pause. On here live. Sorry. And I don't know how to do that. Okay. Oh, I remember. I was supposed to turn my phone all the way down on mute. I forgot. All right. Anyway, love you guys. I'll see you later. Bye.